then there are two aspects of spiritual surrender. One is the internal spiritual surrender, and the second one is the external spiritual surrender. What is the internal spiritual surrender? The internal spiritual surrender is when we close our eyes and we go deep within and we meditate. What do? First we ideate on the divine. We think about the divine. We open our heart towards the divine. Then we convert our feelings, our thoughts towards the divine. More and more. We are thinking less and less about work, about projects, about food, about car, about this, about weather, about this or that. We think less and less, and we concentrate our mind more and more towards the divine, convert our thoughts towards the divine, and as we go deep inside in meditation, ultimately what happens, our thoughts merge in consciousness. Means our mind merges in consciousness. That is the final stage of spiritual surrender. Say, for example, we do mantra chanting. We come from work, or we had a busy time, our thoughts are still about work, maybe this problem, maybe that problem, so many thoughts are in our mind. Maybe there was a traffic hold up or traffic jam, our thoughts are occupied with all that. So then we start chanting, singing the mantra. What happens? We ideate on the divine with the help of the mantra. And the more we ideate, the more we chant, the more we think, and the more we sing the name of the divine, we transform, we convert our feelings. Before they were perhaps feelings of anxiety, of perhaps annoyance, of worry, contracted thoughts, we convert those into thoughts, finer, with longer wavelength. We convert those worldly, limited thoughts towards the infinite, towards the divine. We are converting. In chanting the mantra, and in deep meditation we do the same thing. And then finally, going deeper and deeper, we ultimately, our thoughts merge in consciousness. The ultimate state of surrender. Now this converting, there are different techniques. Like one is the use of mantra. You learn the mantra, you chant the mantra, or you repeat the mantra in your meditation, you go deeper and deeper, and this mantra helps you to convert your small I. All your thoughts come from your small I, from your ego. You convert your small I into consciousness, into, you could say, the universal I, the infinite I, with the help of the mantra. There are other techniques, certain inner visions in meditation, inner sounds, even inner touch. Different techniques are there that help us to convert our thoughts and our feelings towards consciousness. So, one very practical way of spiritual surrender, internal spiritual surrender, is deep meditation. Another way is kirtan. Through kirtan, we also ideate on the divine and then convert our thoughts and feelings towards the divine. And then merger. See, if we use the metaphor of water again, it's like when we say start to meditate, our mind is perhaps a little bit contracted, dense, like ice. And then in the process of meditation, with the heat of our endeavor, with the heat of our effort, and with the warmth of our devotion, of our love, this ice mind melts into water, and becomes water, a flow of consciousness. No second entity. One surrenders, one actually becomes one's deepest true self, which is consciousness. So that is internal spiritual surrender. And we do that with closed eyes and going deep within. And there's also external spiritual surrender. Because we live in this world and we spend so many hours in this world doing so many works, taking care of our duties, our work, our family. So surrender is not reserved to only our time of meditation. We can also surrender in our during our mundane activities. How do we do that? The first two elements of spiritual surrender are the same. We surrender by thinking about and opening our heart towards the divine. While we do something, while we are confronted with a certain situation, and then we convert our thoughts and our feelings towards the divine. How do we do that? By ascribing divinity to the external entities, to the objects, to the happenings. We think about that this food that I'm eating is an expression of the divinity, of consciousness. My eating is also an expression of divine energy, of consciousness. I am an expression of divinity. So we are ascribing divinity to everything that we come in contact with. That is surrender. We are surrendering our small thoughts about just the external appearance. We are surrendering that, and we are transforming our limited, contracting sometimes thoughts. We transform them towards finer and finer thoughts, towards the unlimited, towards the divine. That is surrender in the process of doing work. As I say, for example, before you eat, you can surrender by thinking that this food is also an expression of the divine. Or say, you're faced with a problem. A big challenge is in front of you. Maybe you hear something that upsets your mind very much. So what do? You want to surrender. How do you surrender? First of all, you think about the divine. This news is also divine. The person who's giving me this news is also divine. I am also divine. By ascribing divinity to the external world, we surrender. It is a state of surrender.